Hi there everybody, it's UK independent demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm playing with the 4-season floral photopolymer stamp set. This stamp set features in the Stampin' Up beginner brochure. It's actually not in the annual catalogue. It is a new stamp set, but it's in the beginner brochure. And while it's ideal for beginner stampers because they are smaller images, there are only 7 and it is of a much cheaper price point, it's still a fantastic set for the more experienced stamper because you can still do some awesome techniques with this set. So this is the card that I have done today. I have been trying to challenge myself to not use the blends. If you are a regular on my channel, you'll know that I absolutely adore the blends and I use them on nearly every card. So today I've had a day and I've made about 6 cards and I have not picked a blend up, and I'm so proud of myself. So I have used this image here, stamped it, fussy cut it out, and I've teamed it up with the Playing with Patterns DSP, and I love these squiggly lines. So the Playing with Patterns DSP is in the annual catalogue. It's a 6x6 paper set and I just think it's cute. So let me show you how to put this card together. You're going to want a piece of scrap Whisper White to do your initial stamping on, and you're using your Memento ink pad, and I've already popped my stamp onto my block and it's a C-shaped block. Just gonna stamp this on my Whisper White. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous stamp. And if you were perhaps more of an avid stamper, someone a bit more experienced that wanted to create a really lovely card, you could mask this up beautifully. You could also just stamp this and not fussy cut it if you don't like fussy cutting, but I quite like it. I think it's quite relaxing. So I'm going to get fussy cutting and I'll tell you about the different types of catalogues that Stampin' Up have. So we have the normal annual catalogue, which is amazing and it's huge and it has so many different gorgeous things on there, and it has just become current in June, and it will go again until sort of May next year. So any of those sets are available for you to purchase. There is the beginner brochure that goes alongside it for the same time scales, but has a few more what they call simple stamping type stamps and card kits, which are for people who are beginner stampers and people who want to get into paper crafting. They're really ideal for you to pick up on. And what I like about them is you can start out simple with them, but you can build them to be more complicated, which is what I'm really doing with this set here. And then we also have the Holiday Mini, which is coming out. It'll be out in July, so I will start sending it to all my customers then. And that has all of the Christmas and the autumn and Halloween stamp sets in. It is a mini, so it's not as big as the annual catalogue, and that is available up until December. And then we get a spring summer mini, which comes out sort of the start of the year. If you don't have a demonstrator and you don't get catalogues delivered to you and you'd like them, please get in touch with me. All of the stamp sets do go on my website, slimandstylish.com, so if you don't want a catalogue but you just want to have a browse through, head over to my website. And like I said, if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love it if you'd choose me and shop with me. And I managed to say all of that without chopping a petal off, which is unusual for me. Normally I like to stay quite quiet when I'm fussy cutting because I panic that I'm going to cut bits off. So there we go, and that is as complicated as this card gets, really. But I think that is such an adorable stamp. I've moved my bin. I went and relocated and started stamping downstairs today, so I moved my bin out of the way. Now I've got lots of little bits lying around. So the happy birthday, I'm also going to stamp on this scrap piece that I had using the Memento ink, and I've also put it on a C-shaped block, but it would probably fit on a B as well because it is quite a small stamp, but it's cute. I'm just going to stamp that on. There you go. And I've got this punch here, which is from the annual catalogue. I'm going to pop that in there, punch it out. So there's my 2 bits for my card. I also have the DSP that I was talking about. So this is a Playing with Patterns DSP, and it did have all yellow shades on the back, and it had this squiggly line here. So the DSP comes in a 48 pack, and you've got 4 of 12 different sheets, and this was just one of them that I really liked. And I've cut this down at 2.5 inches. Yep, 2.5 inches. And I've got my piece of cardstock. So this is a piece of Whisper White. It's the thick Whisper White. I'm just looking for my bone folder, which I have moved. Let me just grab it. So yeah, it's a thick Whisper White, and I have cut it in half and then scored it in half to make a card. And I have got a piece of the thin Whisper White, which I quite like for stamping on, which is just a slight bit smaller. So this is actually, you're going to hate me for this. This is 4 inches by 14.5 centimetres. Don't ask me why I did that. I'm going to get my ruler so I can give it you exactly for whichever way you want it. So it is 4 inches, which is 10.2 centimetres. And like I said, it is 14.5 centimetres by 5 5/8 of an inch. I think I was just trying to be awkward when I did 1 in centimetres and 1 in inches. I'm having one of them daft days. So for the corners here, what I'm doing is I'm using the exact same punch that we have just used, but I'm going to pop my cardstock in like that. You see? So let me just get that little tiny square out. You're going to pop your cardstock, feed it through, and you want to pop it in there and just trim it so you get a rounded edge. And I'm going to do exactly the same on my cardstock. So I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I've done it just to add a bit of interest to the card, really. You see so many cards that are all square shaped, and I thought this would just be a bit of interest. But it's also another use for the punch. So when you see this punch, it's actually a very clever punch. I will show you what it also does. But yeah, so when you see this punch, you know you can also round the edges off with it. You also get this square slit and this tiny little dot. These are fantastic if you are using ribbons. So you can put one on either side. So on my Happy Birthday, I could have one on either side and feed the ribbon through. Or on the top part, if I turned my tag and used it that way, I could have a little tag top and feed some string through to put it on to a present. That's well done, Helen. Let's go again. Okay, so you can then pop it onto a present and push it all the way down, not part way like I did, otherwise you're going to do what I did as well. But yeah, so it's a handy little punch that, and that's available from the annual catalogue. So to build this card up, what I've done is I've took my DSP and I have stuck it onto my card front. So I've got my Stampin' seal. And I'm just going to getting the hang of this. Slightly different to the snail, not much, but slightly different. There we go. And then you're going to notice when I stick this to the card, so I'm just sticking it not quite to the edge, I'm leaving about 1/2 centimetre or about 1/4 of an inch, that it hangs over. And the reason why it hangs over is because it's a 6-inch DSP and I forgot to cut it lengthwise. So if you stick it to your card and then cut it, you'll get it to the exact length of your card, which is quite a handy little trick. saves you having a gap. There we go. And I've got some ribbon, so I've got my shimmer ribbon, right, and I'm going to cut that so it is just slightly longer than my card, like that. Turn my card upside down, and on the grid paper I'm going to measure where I want this to be so that I can get it the same on both sides. And with my Stampin' Seal, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape on this side, and just on the same run a little bit of tape on that side, and I'm going to stick that down, run it round and stick it the other side, and then you'll get to see that it's straight because I've lined it up on my grid paper. Grid paper's so handy. So I'm just going to pop a little bow into the ribbon, straighten that up a bit. Okay, and I'm just going to chop that angled so it's got a nice tail. And then I'm just sticking every part of this bit together. So I'm going to pop some dimensionals on here which just pop it out. So these are our foam adhesive, and you can see it's probably a 1/4 of a centimetre, about 1/8 of an inch high. But it just pops it off the page and gives it some dimension, so everything's not completely flat. And pop that on there. And I'm going to grab another couple of dimensionals and pop them on the back of our flowers. And I'm going to stick that on there like that. Okay, with my seal, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue onto the ribbon and attach the bow. Just like that. And then I'm actually going to use the edge of the dimensionals. So our dimensionals come little sort of hexagonal shapes, but around the side you get all this extra, which I'm going to use. And I'm also going to cut the corner pieces off because I want to pop up the whole of my card. So I'm going to take the corner bits and pop them there. I mean, you can use your normal dimensionals to do this. You don't have to use all the corner bits, but I like when I'm popping cards up and I'm popping the whole bit up to get a whole chunk of dimensional, and I find the corner bits are really useful. Plus the fact I'm one for using my money wisely, and these little bits just get left to the side, so I'm going to be using those. So I'm just going to nick those off there, and that gives me lots of foam there for the back. You can use one of our foam adhesive sheets, up to you, but they are quite thick, so when you use those you won't be able to pop them into the punch to get the rounded corner. So you'll have to stick them on and cut them off here, or stick them on and fussy cut around the corner. I mean it's still really simple to do. I just didn't want to see anyone try and clog their punch up. So I'm going to stick this level with the corner or the crease and pop that down like that. And then just to finish the card off, I have some of our rhinestones, and these come in 3 different sizes on the pack. So you have a large one, a medium one and a little one. I'm going to use one of each. I'm just going to pop them up each sides, large, medium, small, and that's my card. What do you think? I quite like this one, and do you know what, I was glad not to use blends. It gave me a little bit of a different taste of making cards. So there we go. My simple card using my simple 4-season floral stamp set. If you like the stamp set, it is available to purchase from my website, stampinup.com. Go up to the header and click buy, and you'll be able to search for the 4-season floral stamp set and add it to your basket. You'll also be able to add any of the other items that I've used in this video. And if you have enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and pop back again soon. Thanks everybody, have a really nice day. Bye.